Jerry Garrett back with you at the Baja 1000 in Baja, California, Mexico. Right now, an aerial view of Rob McCachran as he begins to go through this water section that we saw Walker Evans go through earlier. And you can see the view from outside the truck, just how spectacular it is for these vehicles going through here and how difficult. You know, Rob McCachran is in a difficult points chase in this race, and earlier he talked to our Spencer Lowe about what his strategy's got to be.
We're with Rob McCachran, Class 8. Rob, overall, I know you're going for it. How important is it to you?
Well, right now we're in the points battle with Steve Kelly, so we're really not looking for overall this race. If it happens at the end, it happens. Beginning of the race, we're just going to pace ourselves and make sure we get the good truck for the finish. And then if it's there, it's there. We'll go for it right at the end.
Well, I'm sure you're going to do your best. Hopefully no transmission problems, maybe a tire or two, but that's it, huh?
No, BF Goodrich tires and the Ford trucks were running really good. Last 3 races we won, so we're on a roll, going for 4 in a row to end out the good season.
Well, Rob McCachran started out the season fast, but his truck wouldn't last. At the Baja 500, he started a winning streak that continues right through to this race, and you can see he's giving it a ride right now. Him and his co-driver Mike Schaafstall are really getting a bath as they go through this area, but the truck is running perfectly. You have to be very careful going through here because if you take a little water under the hood, it can shut the engine off, get in the ignition, actually ruin the engine. And we've seen a lot of the drivers pulled over to the side of the road and probably from some damage. There's another driver over on the left side there who's out of the race already, probably damage from that water. Here, meanwhile, is our leader, our overall leader, Robbie Gordon, coming up through an area with a big jump here. You can see all the fans along here. There's a great collection of fans all along the 1,000 miles. And right behind Robbie Gordon, Ivan the Ironman Stewart, a very close race for the overall. Back a little farther on the highway right now. Car on the left there, that's the Ford truck of Paul and Dave Simon. Paul driving right now, and he's coming up on the buggy of Jason Baldwin. Baldwin has some hopes in this race of winning the points championship as well, and his chances are probably enhanced by Steve McCachran being parked by the side of the road. Looks like right now, though, that Jason Baldwin is going to get passed by Paul Simon. You can see the horsepower advantage that the trucks with their big V8 engines have against the buggies, who are mostly powered by 4-cylinder engines. Now back at this big jump, here comes Jim Baldwin. That's Jason's father. They drive identical buggies in this race, kind of hard to keep them apart. Here's Doug Fortin right behind Jim Baldwin, close among the top runners in this race. Here's Paul and Dave Simon. Oh, boy. These guys get their reputation, honestly, for being spectacular drivers. Paul behind the wheel right now, as we mentioned. There goes Jason Baldwin now. You see the fans really thick in this area. We're looking at the dust cloud now of our leader, Robbie Gordon, farther on up the course, and he's still out front with that Ford Ranger running perfectly. Behind him, Ivan Stewart very close, and Ivan's strategy in this race is pretty simple, too.
Well, we're going to run conservative, I think, Spencer, up to San Ignacio. Try and keep track of the competition, see where the fast guys are at, and if they're with us or if they're getting away from us or whatever's happened, readjust at San Ignacio, and hopefully I'll have a good race car there, and I could chase them down and get away from them if I had to. We've done a lot of pre-running. I feel real confident with the race truck and myself.
Well, while Ivan Stewart talks, Mike Leslie takes a bath in his Grand Cherokee. Look from our Shell Truck Guard in-car camera here. They've got a hole in the floorboards there, and every time they go through a puddle in this water section, it squirts up in poor Mike's face. It's obscuring his vision. You can see it dripping from the ceiling there. The co-driver reaches over. Thank you very much for cleaning off the in-car camera. I don't know how long it'll keep up with water pouring down on it, but everything in this vehicle is soaking wet. Mike Leslie's had quite a season so far this year. He's a car owner as well as a driver. His car's in the Mickey Thompson Series, won the championship in the Ultra Stock class. His car's in the High Desert Series, won those classes. And his teammate Kurt Leduc has a good chance of winning his class out here today. Mike is testing a new vehicle, and his strategy is a little different.
I think the main goal here is if we just finish the race, we win the championship for Jeep and Goodyear and Shell Truck Guard.
Yeah, but it's still a 1,000-mile race. It's if we win the race today.
Yeah, but we got 42 hours. It's a long day. A lot of people make mistakes. We do set a good pace. We still got a good chance of winning the race just by trying to finish.
Well, with that strategy, we'll see you in La Paz.
Well, if he gets through with this shower and still has a vehicle that runs, Mike Leslie will have a good chance of doing just what he wants to do, going all the way to La Paz. But if he doesn't, it's still been a great season for Mike Leslie Racing, one that's pretty hard for any other team out here to say they could top. Well, Mike's big competition out here today is the Ford of Dan Smith, and Dan runs pretty good down here in Baja, but Dan would have to win the race and Mike not to finish for Mike to lose out on the championship at this point. On up the road, the pit boards are out now for our leader, Robbie Gordon, and you can see climbing out of the co-driver's window, that's Gary Meekum. He's had his drive for the day, and he's ready to turn that co-driver's seat over to somebody else. He's pointing out that something over on the left side of the truck needs to be checked. I don't know if it's anything serious because Robbie is still in the lead over Ivan Stewart, but not by much. It's a very tight race so far. Big bucket of fuel going in there. Crew checking some things. They're not going to put any new tires on or anything, so that part of the equation seems to be well taken care of at this point. Well, Robbie Gordon's pit stop is complete, and he's back underway, still with the lead in this race. Haven't seen Ivan Stewart come by yet, but here he comes. His pit is right behind Robbie Gordon's, and he is into the Team Toyota pit right now. We cannot emphasize just how important this race is for Team Toyota to win. The Baja 1000 is about the only race that these guys have not won, and they have keyed all their efforts, focused all their energy. Can they do it? We'll see after this.